Cancer is a genetic disease caused by changes to genes which control the way our cells function, more specifically, the way they grow and divide. Cancer can develop due to inheritance from a family's background, personal risk factors, or out of nowhere. They can also arise as a result of errors that occur as cells divide or because of damage to DNA due to environmental exposure. A healthy cell doesn't turn cancerous overnight. Its behavior gradually changes, a result of damage to between 3 and 7 of the hundreds of genes that control cell growth, division, and lifespan. First, the cell starts to grow and multiply. Over time, more changes take place. The cell and its daughter cells may eventually escape destruction through the body's defenses, develop their own blood supply, and invade the rest of the body. The loss of growth control of cancer cells is a result of accumulated abnormalities in multiple cell regulatory systems and is reflected in the several aspects of cell behavior. This is a lot different from normal cells. Cancer cells have around 60 or more mutations on average. With enough cancer cells, the cells can develop into a tumor, which could cause more tumors. Every time a normal cell divides, the ends of its chromosomes become shorter. Once they have worn down, the cell dies and is replaced. Cancer cells cheat this system. They retain their long chromosomes by continually adding bits back on. This process allows cancer cells to live forever. Every time a healthy human cell divides, it copies all of its genes, which are bundled into 46 chromosomes. This process has several checkpoints to ensure that each new cell gets a near-perfect copy. This is not the case for cancer cells. Cancer cells often miss these vital checkpoints, causing parts of chromosomes to be lost, rearranged, or copied many times, and the genes are more likely to acquire further mutations. Some of these may allow the cell to escape other checking and repair mechanisms. During the early stages of cancer, tumors are typically benign and remain localized in the tissue. As tumors grow and become malignant, they gain the ability to break through local tissue boundaries and invade adjoining tissue. Cancer cell characteristics include large variably shaped nuclei, many dividing cells, disorganized arrangement, variation in size and shape, and loss of normal features. Cancer may come back due to not getting rid of all the cancerous cells through the initial treatments of cancer. If this happens, it promotes cancer growth to other regions of the body. This makes it hard for the body to work the way it should. However, because many people are diagnosed in the early stages of cancer, about 67% of people diagnosed with cancer will survive. Cancer can be treated very well for many patients.
Many different factors can play a role in the obtaining of cancer, such as genetics, lifestyle habits or behaviors, environmental exposures, and biological factors. Many different types of cancers can be inherited. When genes that can be potentially cause cancer can be inherited, this is considered genetic risk factors. Most factors that catalyze cancer are behavioral, such as using tobacco, alcohol, not getting enough exercise, having an unhealthy diet, and not doing preventative things such as using sunscreen. As I earlier mentioned, there are also biological factors which can affect a person's likelihood of getting cancer, such as age and ethnicity, natural immunity to infections, and behaviors of hormones. Broadly speaking, elderly people are most likely to develop many types of cancer. Here's a diagram depicting the biological risk factors. There are also several environmental factors that can cause a person to develop cancer, such as radiation, air pollution, and chemicals in the environment, such as radon.
The 4 most common types of cancer in the United States are breast cancer, prostate cancer, lung cancer, and colorectal cancer. One of the most common types of cancer in women of the United States is breast cancer. Breast cancer is a malignant tumor that starts in the somatic cells of the breast. Symptoms of breast cancer include discomfort or changes in breasts, including lumps and redness, and swollenness in lymph nodes. Here are some statistics for you. 1 in 8 women statistically will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. Around 250,000 women in the U.S. diagnosed each year, and around 1/6 of total diagnoses result in fatality. It is the second leading cause of death among women in the U.S. The best way to assure you can be treated and survive with this condition is early detection. The 2 main ways you can detect breast cancer early are by self-examinations and doctor checkups. It is commonly unknown, but men are also affected by breast cancer. Around 2,500 men are diagnosed with breast cancer each year, and about 1/5 of total diagnoses result in fatality. Another prevalent type of cancer in the United States is prostate cancer. Prostate cancer begins when cells in the prostate gland start to grow uncontrollably. Men over the age of 50 are the most at risk. Prostate cancer is also most common in African Americans. Most men who are diagnosed are 65 and older. Around 160,000 men in the United States were diagnosed in 2017. 1/6 of those cases resulted in fatality. The diagram shows the U.S. has more prostate cancer than other nations with leading prostate cancer cases. Lung cancer is another cancer considered one of the top 4 most frequently diagnosed cancers in the U.S. Lung cancer is the uncontrolled growth of abnormal cells in one or both lungs. Lung cancer normally occurs in people 65 or older.
No.
There are 2 main categories for lung cancer: primary lung cancer and secondary lung cancer. Primary lung cancer starts in the lungs. Secondary lung cancer is when cancer from other parts of the body metastasizes to the lungs. Symptoms of lung cancer include slight cough, shortness of breath, loss of appetite, general fatigue, and chest pain. The 4th most common cancer in the United States is colorectal cancer. Colorectal cancer is a cancer that starts in the colon or in the rectum. They are often grouped together because they have many features in common. Most colorectal cancers begin as a growth called a polyp on the inner lining of the colon or rectum. The main symptom is having pain in the abdomen. Risk factors for developing colorectal cancer include being overweight, physical inactivity, and having a diet high in red meats.